Okay, we're top of the hour, so I'll go ahead and start today's call. Interesting call in my view, as we'll be talking about a technician care program, and we'll be going through, first of all, the logic of it, why we should be considering it as dealerships, and what it'll mean to the overall prosperity of service and parts. So when we look at technicians, there's some interesting facts I first want to mention. A good tech will generate over $150,000 a year in parts sales, resulting in over $60,000 in gross profit for parts department alone. A good tech will also generate over $120,000 in labor gross profit. Now, if you combine labor and parts sales and say a good technician is $250,000 in parts and labor. So obviously, that's a substantial amount of money and should be considered. The dealer will spend over $15,000 to train a technician to master status and will invest additional thousands of dollars every year to stay current. The dealer will also spend over $150,000 in special tools. The technician will spend generally $60,000 or more on their own tools. You know what I find interesting about that? Name one other dealer position that does that. Name one other dealer position that requires that. And yet the technicians are both. They're required to have their own tools. They're required to spend their own money for an investment. And basically, that's the way that the job is structured. Now, these facts should illustrate the need for the dealer to develop a care program for him. One of the most common concerns that dealers have when I travel and my team travels around the United States, we look at all obviously different issues. I need a tech. Where do I find them? I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm in the limited market. Or everybody has them but me. I need 3 more guys. Can't get done the work we have lined up. Can't even get the internals in. We keep putting the used car department behind us because we don't have the staffing to take care of the customers that are coming in the front door. So a lot of times dealers have literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of used vehicles that haven't hit the lot yet because they haven't been through the service department because of a shortage of technicians. Enough already. Let's look at let's look at what technicians are facing and ways that we need to innovate and create the best positive working environment for them. Let's look at it in a little more detail. Technicians, 100 degrees, middle of summer, humid. Techs are hot. They're working in the shop. How about the winter? When it's frigid air and the doors are opening up and the heaters are struggling to keep the temp even reasonable. Then we get the vehicle in the air and you got snow and sleet dripping all over them, salty water, dirty water. These are the conditions that they work in every day. Summer, extreme heat. Winter, cold. In most markets, There's a combination of both. So here it is, extreme work environment. Generally, they work in these environments without thanks or concern. And it is an amazing thing that some management teams do bring water when the heat index is above 110, and the techs are working in that environment. Some bring water. Some will do something nice, or Gatorade, whatever. It's a nice thought. But generally, the technicians work in these conditions without thanks or concern. They load up, get up, and go, and then the tool truck comes in. They buy the latest, greatest tool to make their job easier. Well, now let's look at some creative, innovative considerations that dealers should be having to create this technician care program. And I don't know of anyone that has them. It's just that I look at this concern nationwide. Technicians are getting harder and harder to find. It's more interesting to take that technician and then keep them current with training. All of these challenges that are going on, I think we need to have a new appreciation of what the job is for being a technician. An innovative dealer will take the following suggestions and maybe consider developing a technician care program for their dealership. Consider preloading the bays to allow the snow to melt. Use the porters whenever possible. Why wouldn't we hose them down when they got 6 inches of snow on them, or ice, or they're dripping? Bring them into a staging area. And maybe you don't have a staging area. Maybe you have a cleanup or a car wash, whatever. Let's work to get the car in the proper condition to improve for the technician what they're working on. Do we really think it's productive to have a technician in a situation where they're digging a car out of 10 inches of snow? Do we really think that that's efficient when we're analyzing, wow, we like that part sales, we like those labor sales, but we got them shoveling snow to get into a car and bring it into the shop? Why wouldn't we use porters to clean and prep the snow off the vehicles? To put them in a staging area, let them dry out a little bit before the tech works on them. Isn't that ideal for the tech? And at the same time, when you have things that are ideal for the tech, count on an increase in part sales and labor sales. It really benefits everybody. I think that the team technician meetings are needed, at least on a weekly basis, and encourage suggestions on how to be better. Why wouldn't we listen to the technicians? Ask them about equipment needs. Are we maintaining the lifts? When's the last time professional maintenance on a lift was performed in your shop? If you don't know the answer to that and your lifts don't have a little decal on the side of it, or you know that this lift is unsafe, what in the world are you thinking? You're going to wait for a lawsuit or a damaged vehicle to take action on something that you know is existing? Open up that communication. Listen and thank the technicians for their suggestions and actually implement them whenever possible to make their job easier. Wasn't that long ago I was in a shop and the technicians were saying, gosh, our control heads on the alignment machine are so bad, we're having to do alignments 2-3 times a lot because the equipment's faulty. So rather than fix the equipment, We just keep having the same concern over and over and over again. Have the decency to listen in these meetings and thank them for their efforts. I think a training program needs to be established within the dealership that takes the technicians individually and looks at their training pathway. What do they need to complete a certain category? How are they doing with training? Are we encouraging ASE certifications? Are we encouraging category completion and factory training? Is anyone in your dealership looking to see what their needs are and giving them individual coaching? I hope so. And I think it would be an innovative thing to consider for the dealerships to have a technician tool allowance. Would help them in some regard. It could be that for every tech hour, there's a certain amount of money that's generated into a technician tool allowance that they can spend with the local tool truck vendor and build their war chest of tools to sell more labor. And when they sell more labor, they sell more parts. I think a tool allowance would be an innovative consideration. And for you folks that don't have an air-conditioned shop, I would challenge you to consider what benefits would be created in maximizing the workspace for them to make it as comfortable as possible. Believe me, it turns into increased productivity, increased efficiency, and also increased part sales. Yeah, it's expensive, but I think that will lead to attracting the technicians we need, keeping the technicians we need. These types of items should be considered. A productivity bonus. How about a length of employment bonus once a year on their anniversary date? And the amount goes up as the years go on. We've got to look at sign-on bonuses when you're needing a technician. Everything that you can possibly do to attract technicians, keep technicians. You're putting so much into training, so much into specialty tools. They have a huge investment on their own, personally. Let's look at ways to keep them and attract them. Have the local techs in your market talking about your shop and the innovative ways that you have developed a customized technician care program. All right, if you have any questions or comments, you can always push the number 1, and our moderator, Mike, will see your hand is raised and acknowledge your question. Today, we are going to just open up the lines, and anyone have any comments, we can just have that open discussion for a short time. Mike, go ahead and open the lines for us. Well, I will explain that sometimes when a dealer is evaluating programs and they tend to focus in on the cost. And really the challenge on today is basically to consider what the revenue is that a technician generates and the losses when the shop is constantly looking for staffing issues. You got to have techs turning wrenches. The better we make it, the better the environment, the better it is for everybody. Yes?
I've never heard of this allowance for tools. Would you do that like a per diem, or it's interesting to me? Would you, I don't know, maybe Maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
No one's doing it right now. I don't know of anyone doing it. It's just a thought that I have that these technicians, they're making such a large personal investment. It could be that it would be a situation that for every tech hour turned, 50 cents or a buck or whatever goes into this fund that they can spend to enhance their individual tools that they use every day. I don't know of anyone doing it. I just thought of it as an innovative idea to attract and retain them.
That's interesting. I just hear all the time how all these dealerships are looking for techs all the time. That's the biggest concern. Well, one of them.
Exactly right, because if you don't have the right staffing, you're basically not able to turn out the customers and care for them. You've got to take care of the vehicle needs. When it's broken, they can't delay. They need to get back on the road. So everybody's got a need. It's not, hey, wait till you have time to bring it in. Good comments. Thank you. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next week. Thank you for attending. Bye-bye.
Fixed Performance helps many dealerships improve their fixed operations. With our no-nonsense approach, we don't beat down your staff. Instead, we encourage them to do the right processes, treat the customers fairly, and retain them. So if you're looking to improve customer satisfaction, customer retention, and profits, we're a good fit for your dealership. Give us a call and let's chat.